Hi, my name is Peter. I'm 69 years old, happily married, with 2 children, one 9 and one 14. I'm a bit of a late starter. And this is my video diary of my journey towards DBS, which is deep brain stimulation, which is also a treatment for Parkinson's disease. Not a cure, it's purely to relieve the symptoms. So I hope you will join me in this, and this video is intended for people who are interested in knowing what happens with DBS and possibly are interested in also in the way Parkinson's affects somebody. This will be as honest and as frank as I can be about the whole situation. I'll talk about how Parkinson's disease, which I have had for about 10 years, has changed my life and the lives of the people around me. Also, you'll encounter a few life lessons maybe we'll learn along the way, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and we'll get to know each other. So this is the introduction, and I might just start off, and I'm trying to get used to this camera here and just talking freely to a camera. So I'm going to try and do all this unedited, other than to join videos together so that there's some sequence. Parkinson's disease, okay. Anybody that's continuing to watch this now probably already knows a little about Parkinson's if your interest has been sparked. I'm not going to give you a science lecture on the causes of Parkinson's disease or what they think may be and about exactly what's happening in the brain, but I will try to let you know some of the symptoms possibly, and how that affects me as a person with Parkinson's and possibly also the people around me, and how much it changes you from before you have it. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'd appreciate any comments that you may have. Put them down in the usual places. Okay. Well, as I've just mentioned to you, I've had Parkinson's for about 10 years. It was about the age of 53 that I first noticed a little tiny twitch in my finger, sitting down watching TV with my wife, and there's this tiny little twitch which I looked at and thought, when I looked at it, it went away most of the times, and straight away whenever you get any sort of twitch or tremor, I think most people think, oh, maybe Parkinson's. So I looked it up online, looked at all the possible symptoms, and I thought, well, I don't have that, and I don't have that, and I don't have that, and I don't have that. So I haven't got Parkinson's for sure, just some silly little injury. Probably nearly 12 months, or more likely 6 months down the track, my wife noticed it and said, oh, honey, you got this little twitch in your finger, what's going on? I said, I think it's this elbow injury I've got at the moment, you know. Nothing to worry about. And so, and I thought about it again and went back online again and had a look and, no, I don't think it's me, you know, because I was always pretty fit and healthy. And it's another 6 months. It was more noticeable, happening more often. And I said, I think you better go and see somebody about that, you know, because it's still there. I said, yeah, you're right, I'll go and see my local doctor. And which I did, made an appointment to go and see him. And said, listen, I've got this little tremor in my hand. He said, show me. I said, well, I can't really show you because as soon as I look at it or concentrate on it in any way, it goes away. And he says, well, hold this bit of paper for me, you know. So I held onto a bit of paper, dead still. He went, no, I don't think you've got Parkinson's. Because I raised that concern, I don't think you've got Parkinson's. You're too fit and healthy. And I really was, because I've always been a very active person in my life. And so I went away thinking, well, I haven't got Parkinson's, you know. It's just some silly little injury. And possibly another 6 or 7 or 8 months, you know, it's hard to remember back that far now. I still got the tremor, it's going a bit more, and I went back and saw him again, and I said, listen, I've still got that tremor, you know. And he looked, he says, oh, I think there's nothing to worry about, but you might as well go and see somebody about it and see what they've got to say. We'll organise an appointment with a neurologist for you. Cut a long story short, after a heap of tests, which they test to see if you've got something else, because lots of things can cause tremors. And finally, after about 2.5 years from when I first noticed it, maybe nearly 3, the neurologists seemed to think, well, we're not sure whether you've got Parkinson's because there's no way to test it. We can only look at you and determine whether we think you've got Parkinson's. He says, no, I'm not sure whether you have yet, you know, because you look too fit and healthy. But what we'll do is we'll give you this medication to relieve the symptoms, and if that works for you, because it won't work for anybody that doesn't have Parkinson's, it won't change anything, but if you have got Parkinson's, we're going to give you this levodopa and see whether it helps any. And of course, as soon as I took that, because by that time my symptoms were getting a lot worse and I was getting a tremor, and it relieved my symptoms 70%, made a huge difference. So I went back and saw the doctor, said, yeah, it made a huge difference. So, well, you've probably got Parkinson's, so continue on, and if it helps you, that's all well and good. And that's what happened for a long time. In fact, for about 7 years of the time that I had it, I never told anybody except my wife and best friends. You know, my work, where I worked, I never told them about it at all until it came to a stage where I had no choice further down the track. So the other thing I think I should do, so it's concluded that I've got Parkinson's, and as things progress it becomes more than obvious that you have, you know, as the symptoms start to arise. Now I think I'll probably tell you a little bit about myself and the way I was before this PD come along. And this all seems like it's going around in a offshoot here and offshoot there. We're supposed to be here talking about DBS, but you have to understand why I'm at a position now where DBS is an option for me. So I'm originally from South Australia, born in Port Augusta. Like I said, 69 years old now. But I came here when I was 23 in 1975, or was it 25 in 1973? I always get mixed up. But I came here to teach martial arts. I was doing Taekwondo in South Australia, and they wanted an instructor to open up over here, and that's what I did. I travelled from South Australia to here and opened up Taekwondo in the Illawarra and taught professionally for a number of years. So I've always been fit, healthy, always competed in a lot of sports throughout my life, never smoked, never really drank. When I was much younger, I tried it and never really liked it very much. It didn't suit my personality, so I was always into fitness in some way or another. I've operated gymnasiums and taught classes, and there's a lot of things I've done, and we'll come across some of those in other videos. I've got to a stage now where, after seeing 3 different neurologists, sorry about the cameras shaking, you get used to those sort of things when you're around a Parkinson's person. After seeing 3 different neurologists, I finally come across one that seemed to know a little bit about what's going on, and he got me involved in apomorphine. Now, apomorphine straight away seems to send alarm bells to most people because they hear the name morphine on the end of it and think, oh, well, you're taking morphine, that's going to be no good for you. And you'd be right, but apomorphine is a derivative of the production of morphine, and I think it was originally meant to treat something else, and then they found out it was quite successful for some people with Parkinson's, because with Parkinson's, every person who has it, and there's a lot of them do, their Parkinson's is different, even though they're all similar, but it's different for every person. And when I talk about Parkinson's on these videos, this is my Parkinson's, the way that it affects me, and how I have dealt with it. So I got put on this apomorphine, which is an injection or something that's delivered by pump through injection. And in some people it's very successful, and I was one of those people that's fortunate enough that apomorphine works quite well for me. And what will I show you? It's too early. At the moment I've got a little pump on the side of me, and it's pumping a little bit of apomorphine every hour, just into an injection site on my stomach, and that manages my, that manages my Parkinson's fairly well, and allows me to live a reasonably normal life without it. So I'm coming a little bit off now. You probably noticed already from watching this video that my tremor is getting a little bit worse, whereas before when my hand was up there wasn't much. So I'm getting due for a little bit of top up on the apomorphine. So with the apomorphine I still do take levodopa Matapar or Cinetec or one of those types of drugs. I forgot what I was saying then. And this is what happens when you have Parkinson's. I was talking about myself. So I was a martial arts instructor and so on and so on. And like I said, I got involved in, now I've got my track back again, apomorphine. And the people that are involved with apomorphine, well, this particular neurologist also suggested that I may be suitable for DBS, deep brain stimulation. For those who don't know what it is, and I think if you're still watching this video, you've got an idea, but basically it's where they stick a couple of electrodes into your brain, put a little battery on you and stimulate certain points in your brain to help relieve the symptoms of Parkinson's. Only suitable for some people, once again, and there's a big screening effect to be able to do it, which is what I'm going through at the moment. I'm hoping that this will happen and all work out, because the apomorphine is a short-term situation, really. I could stay on it for probably 2 or 3 years, but most people don't stay much longer than that, because there are the possible side effects can be severe after a long time, and they can be excessive compulsive reactions to it, and sleepiness and dropping off to sleep, and all sorts of things have happened. That it's been fairly good for me so far, but I can tell that it's changing a little bit. So I'm hoping the DBS is going to be successful. So I'm not going to go any further in this video because it's already stretched out a lot longer than I expected. So I hope you'll join me on this journey. I'm going to try and do videos quite often as things progress, but the whole DBS journey is probably going to be 12 to 18 months. I'm just at the stage where I've visited the first neurologist involved, and they've got a number of things for me to do to see whether I'm suitable. And the first one is an appointment to see the surgeon who would be doing the operation, and then after that I've got an appointment for a MRI under anaesthetic, and then there's an appointment an appointment with the Parkinson's disorder nurse's assessment, where they test me to see how reactive I am to levodopa from being off the drug and then taking it, and seeing how good of an effect it has for me. Then I have an appointment with a psychiatrist to see whatever they're going to see, dental appointments and all sorts of things. So we'll handle those ones as they come along, and I'll keep you in touch on what's happening. Hope you enjoyed this video. There's lots of things that we can talk about, and if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments, and I will endeavour to fill you in on my views. So thanks very much, and I'll see you all soon.